Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
And I'm Mac.
And today we're giving our first impressions of Champions of Midgard, which was one of the two in a set of games in the Midgard world that I got on Kickstarter Game Found. I never remember which one it was.
So many games.
And that was Reavers of Midgard, the card game. We'll do some videos on that as well, so subscribe if we haven't posted that yet. I don't know which order these will be in, or else go check that one out after you're done with this one. Now we're going to have an unboxing video going up alongside this, so if you want to see kind of some of the components and stuff, get a closer look at those, check that out as well. But we played this one the other day, and it is a flip and write, well, not flip, draft and write game.
Draft and flip and write.
Draft and flip and write and fight game.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, feels like it's a verb and verb game.
Yeah.
Just because you've got a sheet in front of you and you're crossing things off as you're doing them.
For sure.
And yeah, this one, they've got these cards that you were drafting that have a lot of information, multi-use cards in a way.
So much information.
Not really multi-use, but
yeah,
they've got symbols all over the place.
Valkyrie, clans, locations, monsters, glory, ships.
Yeah, so you got a lot of things that you're managing, which kind of all have a spot on your little sheet that you're filling out. So kind of depending on what you're wanting to focus on at that time, you might draft a card specifically for one of those symbols, or you might just try to see overall like which card fulfills the most symbols that you're looking for at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was excited for this one because, I don't know, I think we generally tend to like verb and verb games.
Yeah.
And they're usually kind of on the quicker side, and I think this one was no exception to that. Yeah, I always am hopeful that you will enjoy them, and then that I will as well, because sometimes it's the dreaded that you really like it, and I'm like, that one wasn't as good.
Yikes.
But I figured in this world you couldn't go wrong. I couldn't go wrong.
Sure.
And yeah, I think after our first play, I like this one quite a bit. It feels like one that we will see with more plays. It might feel like you end up getting a good chunk of things every time. We played at 2 players, so I'd also be a little interested in seeing how things change at a higher player count. I don't remember how the cards get shuffled out then, but then you'll be kind of having more hands of cards, so you'll kind of see different ones
you won't get
a little bit more
back
often.
To back.
Right, otherwise it's kind of going back to back, which I think in some drafting games isn't as enjoyable. Like Sushi Go Party, I don't love that at 2 players. I think I definitely like this one better at 2, because there's a little bit more going on than just like it's this single card. These cards have like, well, even if I don't want that part of the card, I still get this. So it's kind of a little bit of a consolation prize.
Yeah, exactly.
So I like that it has that. But yeah, I guess, what were your immediate thoughts with it? Were you excited for this one, or were you like, oh, nah?
Well, I didn't know anything about it, so I can't say I was excited for it or unexcited for it. I liked when I read it was a draft and write, or whatever you would call it. That's definitely more in my wheelhouse. And then I read the rule book and was kind of like, it kind of makes sense, but those rune cards sound super overwhelming, so we'll see how they went. And I think they were at first, but then after like round 2, I think it was pretty clear like kind of what you were about in that one. So I really liked the game overall. I think it was quite a lot of fun, because those cards, even though they are a little overwhelming, they do certainly add into the prospect of like, which card do I take? Because this one gives me this one gives me that, like, and kind of prioritizing like which area you want to go on to. And I think it works because of the way that they did the clan thing. So you don't get every single thing that's on the card for the area control piece, which is probably the part you were most concerned about me liking, was the area control. And I think that they did that really well, because you can only take the area control,
the fight
part of the game for the clan that you have the most of. So if you end up with, I don't remember, 8 cards, and you have...
There's 4 different clan symbols on each of the cards. Well, not 4 different on each of the cards usually had one. I think there were some cards that didn't have any. But yeah, then you'll see which symbol you have the most of, and then there are 5 different colors on the battlefield that they could potentially have you put out your little meeples, and each of those battlefield parts has a number on it, and there has to be that many meeples in that area to trigger a fight for that round. So yeah, depending on that, you might have 4 or 5 of the same symbol, so you can get a ton of people deployed, or you could have kind of a mix of 2, 2, 2, 2, and then there's like a little tiebreaker thing on the map, so that'll kind of determine you don't get to pick, unfortunately. I wish you got to pick. That would make it a little bit better, I think, but it's kind of determined by that. So yeah,
too easy.
Make it too easy. So you got to kind of be thinking of that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it did a pretty good job of that. That was my concern for myself when I got it, is because they had so much information on there. I'm like, is this going to be an AP analysis paralysis prone thing? And I felt like it wasn't really as much as I thought it was going to be. I was like, I kind of know what I want, and this card doesn't have it, this card doesn't have it, this card. Okay, well, none of them have the specific thing I'd want the most, so now I'm going to go to the next whatever. Right. And I thought that was pretty good. I thought it did surprisingly wasn't like causing me to...
Right. No, I agree. I think it was pretty clear. It was just like, well, this one has it and this one has something, so like weighing your options, which ones do you want more, and so I think that really helped it out. If it didn't have that clan mitigation thing where the clan you only play with a certain clan and you can only play on the locations that the clan selected does, I think that would be quite a different game. So yeah, I think it did that really well.
Yeah, so I think after one game, I'd probably give this one like a 7.25. I think it'll be one that it's kind of a filler style game. I think it could be, because it was pretty quick, and you're simultaneously drafting. You can kind of do most of the pieces simultaneously. I think there's like one piece that maybe would have to be done kind of in order, kind of not. But most of it can be done pretty simultaneous, and we got this game done first play in, I don't even know if it was 30 minutes. It was pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I think even at the full player count of 4, I can't imagine this one. It says 30 to 45 minutes. I don't think this one would go over an hour.
No.
Even though at first I thought it could because of the potential analysis. And maybe with the wrong players it could.
Yeah.
But it's going to be based on your slowest player.
Right.
So.
Right, because it's drafting around. So.
Right.
Yeah, I'd probably give it about an 8 or an 8.5 at this point. I really did enjoy it. I felt like the area control wasn't super because there's other things, and even if you lose the fight, which you don't really want to do, there's mitigating factors of if you have a Valkyrie or taking the Valhalla, etc., kind of a thing. So I felt like it did a good enough job at kind of dispersing some of those things. So I think it would be good it's good at 2 players. I think it would be good at more players too, even with all the area control. I think we have Helga, who's the kind of the third player bot when you're playing 2-player in this one anyway. So I think it's good, and I look forward to kind of getting this one back to the table.
I agree, and I think currently I'd probably rank them, of the 3 that we've played, I'd rank it probably Champions of Midgard, this one has a Midgard, and then probably Reavers of Midgard, the card game. That one, you can go check out our video, but I think that one would depend on how that one ends up playing with more players, because we played both of these at 2 players. Yeah. And this one is definitely, if you're always playing at 2 players and you're only getting one of these, I think this one is a much better experience at 2.
Agree.
But if you usually play with more players, the other one may be a little bit better. I'm not sure. Haven't played either one with more yet, so we will see when we eventually do that.
Yes. Well, I would disagree, but Champs of Midgard isn't my most favorite game. It's probably one of your top games. So I would probably go Clans of Midgard, then Champions of Midgard, and then Reavers of Midgard. So just because that's more my style. Champs of Midgard is good enough, but it's not my top.
Wow.
I feel a little bad about it because it's not a bad game. I do enjoy it.
That's fine.
Sometimes. When I'm in the right mood.
Every now and then.
On occasion.
But yeah, yeah, check out our other video that should be going. We should have these going up around the same time. I don't know which one's going to come out first, but if you want to learn more about Reavers of Midgard, the card game, check that one out as well, or subscribe to see when that one comes out. Like the video if you thought it was good enough content, but otherwise we hope to see you on our next one, and as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.